Greetings, Westside families. Dr. David here. I am connecting with you today to share a survey that we are sharing with you all to collect feedback and input on a few learning format options and considerations that we're mulling over here with the team at Westside due to this moment in the pandemic where the threat has heightened and the rate of transmission has gone up in the city of Houston. And so I'm sharing this video in order to explain a little bit more about the programs that we're presenting in the survey and to hopefully share, give some clarity on the thinking behind the options that we are presenting. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and so first, we'll start with the Toddler Program, which toddler and primary for pre-K3 and pre-K4. We intend to continue with in-person learning at this time. If you were with us last year, and you may be aware just generally that these age groups, it's not developmentally appropriate for those students to engage in any kind of distance or virtual learning. And so those students, we are prioritizing for in-person learning and keeping them in the building. Our kindergarten students, we are presenting an option for those students as they make up one part of the primary classes, and based on our capacity for supporting distance learning for those students, and based on the amount of teachers that we have here for those classrooms, we are presenting a distance learning option that includes print work that will be sent home with no fully virtual option. And there may be some limited virtual opportunities for students to engage with their whole class, or for the teacher to check in with students either individually or in small groups. That is the option that we have for kindergarten students, again, based on the number of teachers that we have available to serve both the in-person students, the pre-K3 and pre-K4 students in the primary classes, and in-person kindergartners, and any virtual or distance learning kindergartners. For our elementary and middle school programs, we are considering a few options. Fully in-person learning is an option on the survey. Fully virtual learning, full virtual learning is an option on the survey. And there's also an option for hybrid learning, which is something that we've been discussing and thinking about it, thinking about a day, B day format for that group. And that entails students engaging in a flipped classroom, what we call a flipped classroom model, where students are given work to do asynchronously or independently at home, and they would return to school and get feedback, support in completing work and projects that they're also working on at home. And this option helps us to reduce the number of students that are in class, that are in the building, helps us to social distance a little bit better, and keep students engaged and more consistently, especially in relation to the fully virtual students. It may be a better option for keeping students consistently engaged with teachers and keeping them just in close contact with in touch with their teachers, while also minimizing the amount of exposure that they have to large groups and such. So another thing to keep in mind is that if we do a fully virtual option, a fully in-person option, just as we did last year, one teacher would be dedicated to in-person the in-person group. One teacher would be dedicated to the fully virtual group. And even with the A-Day, B-Day hybrid scenario that we're considering, each group would remain with the same teacher every day. So a student that is in group A, they would have in-person learning with one teacher, and on the day they would have in-person learning with the teacher, and then the day that they are going to be learning virtually at home, they'd be receiving that work from that same in-person teacher and receiving feedback from that same in-person teacher when they come back. Our virtual distance learning platforms will continue to be Seesaw and Google Classroom software. And on the survey, you will also find a space for comments and any other information, feedback that you'd like to share with us, or anything else that you would like us to consider at this time. As always, we are always open to your feedback, your input, and we encourage you to stay in contact, stay in touch, and hope that everyone is taking care. I hope that this message finds you well, finds you in peace, and finds you healthy. All right, everyone, have a great evening. Thank you.